Hello everybody, welcome back to Europa. So as you can see, the sun is out, well actually just setting. Let me just get some stuff back on here, there we go. Yeah, just about to set over there. So yeah, welcome back. I've done a little bit between episodes. I was going to try and do something fancy with this drill, but I ended up... Ooh, that's noisy. Hang on a second, let me turn that off. That one, that's it. Yeah, what I ended up doing was using the hinge that I already had on the bottom, and I've doubled it back on itself because I didn't have room, obviously, to put a piston in and then the drills. So I doubled it back, put a piston in, and we're slowly pushing forwards. So we have a vertical piston set to the height of the iron, or at least predominantly the height of the iron. And on here I've put a little small grid adapter and a couple of spotlights, as you can see, and then there's a camera in the middle there. And I was kind of hoping I could use that, you know, so we can line it up from afar, because it's quite difficult from here to figure out exactly where the iron is, and obviously I can't go down there. Well, I probably could actually, but as it gets deeper maybe I'm not going to be able to get out again. So that was the plan of that. I left the drills running, but I have actually stopped the piston. So it's kind of as hands-free as I can get it. It's going to need a lot of micromanagement, but once I make more space I can obviously make it more complex. And obviously I've left the rotor in so we can spin it. So that was the drills. That's kind of as far as I've got with that. The hangar, as you can see, I've done quite a lot of work on. That's an awful lot of welding. And I really don't think it's going to be big enough for us to build a capital ship. It is big enough for us to do, you know, parking. And I was trying to come up with a method for the doors, and whilst I can put slidey doors on here much like a traditional hangar design, they're not going to be airtight, so I think that's probably a bit of a forlorn hope. I put a couple, well, I piped up there. It's kind of difficult. I could have done a hinge and put a pipe up and reconnected it and that, but I'm not sure that's going to be staying there long term. I might come up with a better idea. So yeah, I mentioned in the last episode the reason I like curved roofs is for this reason. You can walk up them and get to them to weld them, and it makes life a lot easier, as you can see. So I've done some basic welding, and I welded up the center bit just to give it strength, just in case we get hit. And these turrets actually have saved our bacon a couple of times. A couple of meteors sort of came very, very close and got shot down, so I think they're working as far as that's concerned. But obviously a lot more welding to do, and the reason I stopped at this point, well, two reasons I stopped at this point. Firstly, I should have a better welder. We have got platinum somewhere fairly close, and it would be much easier with a better welder. The reason I haven't welded up this bottom bit here, in case you're wondering, I figured I could quickly and easily grind those out, and probably the pipe there, and put a piston assembly in and then raise the whole thing up should I need to. So if this does prove to be just too small, then I'm hoping I've left the ability to lift it up. But that's for later. For now, I think the sensible thing to do is to try and find some platinum. So let me just check the board. So my airlock is working. The problem I'm having with it is I think my oxygen tanks are full. Let me just check that. Yeah, 100% full. And because I'm drilling ice, it's constantly refilling the tanks when we lose some out of the doors. So for that reason, they're not able to depressurize as I go out. but that's not a huge problem. So finish ice ore mining, we kind of done. Hangar is a work in progress. Not sure. I suppose we could leave that as ongoing, maybe. Let's call that ongoing, and take the finish off, and we'll just leave it at that. Likewise, the build hangar, I think, is kind of going to be an ongoing thing. So, for now, we need to start, just call it capital ship, because I don't know what else to call it. That's that one, and to get some platinum. That's about it for the immediate, I think. At least we'll add to it as we go. So platinum wise is that one. So we've got the gold, silver there. I have done another run, or even two, to get gold, and I did do a run to get silver. So I have opened up the mine over there, and if we just have a look. Also made some more ammo because we found magnesium over by the silver, I believe. So the refineries, obviously commons, we're not bringing in iron at the moment. The high grade is doing the gold, and the mid grade concentrating on the silver. So that's kind of spreads the load out quite nicely on that. I don't think I need the steel plates. So for the platinum, no, we didn't lose air. I think we'll just take the little miner over, which I've moved, as you can see. I've moved it over onto here, and I've also moved this docking back one spot so that it doesn't block the stairs. That was all that was about. Okay, so I think this should be good to go. The battery will need recharging. I wonder if we're actually, with all the refineries going, that one. There we go. Is that it? No, that's silver over there. Yeah, I didn't think it was terribly far away. Make a nice wide tunnel, lessen the chance of me banging into things like that. Oh, not there. Is that nickel? Yeah, we're gonna have to go through the nickel, I think. I've got plenty of nickel in the other mine, so I'm not too worried about losing this. Platinum is far more important. Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. There we go. Just found it. Get a load of this, get that refining. Unfortunately, it'll go through the same one as the gold, but I only need a little bit for some tools initially. Okay, so we'll leave that to process. In actual fact, I'll go and swap some over. So that's silver. Where's the platinum? Oh, there we go, it's already taken it. Just a bit slow. Yeah, so it's prioritizing platinum because we've got plenty of gold, but we haven't got any platinum. That's good. Right, on the Stratos, I had an idea. Just put some lights on for you guys. The view out of the cockpit is pretty abysmal, and I thought if I raised the cockpit up by one block, we could lose this O2 H2 generator and actually put, like we have on the other side, we could put a sorter and then an ejector underneath. That kind of makes sense. And the other thing I thought of, rather than losing the O2 generator, which could be important, we've got a large warfare battery on here on the other side, and honestly, being a hydrogen ship, there's not really much power draw. I don't know whether we really need a hydrogen engine, so I thought we might be able to pipe in the H2O2 generator on this side. It's going to be a bit ugly, but there is a conveyor here that I could just feed back to it. So I quite like that idea, so I think I'm going to have a go at doing that. Now, I don't really want to have to set up the entire cockpit things again, so I think I might try and leave the cockpit, just move it with pistons, because I think that would be a lot easier. But before we get onto that, let me just see if we can... Yeah, see that'll fit in there quite nicely. Obviously not in that colour. Let's just colour match that. And then all we've got to do is pipe it in, which we can do... yeah, I think we can do that from this conveyor here. So let's get that built up first. And yeah, probably going to have to take these off, or at least that one off, and that one off. And then we should be able to just put a conveyor in there, if we had one. Oh, okay. Did I not just grab the components for that? Ooh. And then hopefully we should be able to just stick that back in there. And that should be piped up. Yeah. Find out in a minute if that works or not. Yeah, and then on this side then we can assume this has no ice in it. Thankfully it didn't. Yeah, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to disconnect that easily. The other thing I could do is take a blueprint of it, and then just weld the cockpit back in. That's probably not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So we're lifting that up one block, then we can put our connector in. I'm going to need some parts anyway. Wish it wouldn't keep changing. Right, so at the moment that just literally acts as another connector. But I'm hopeful somewhere along the line that cockpit connects. Can't remember where I connected it in before. Anywho, let's get a projector. Pretty sure we won't already have one. Get rid of that. Oh, okay, let's put it on there. Fine. And if anybody knows the secret on the alignment of projectors, I'm more than happy to listen. I always struggle. My understanding is that it's the 2-1 is in the direction you want it to point, and the cross is on top. But I could be wrong. So yeah, we need to unlock it so that we don't get a whole thing. Control B. And relock it. Yeah, so clearly the 2 should be down, which would put the plus in the direction we want it to face. So 2 on the ground. Okay, we'll try and remember that for future reference. Oh, actually, easy way of doing this would be with this. So pitch. No. Yaw. That looks right. Vertical. Forwards. And then vertical. Leave it there. So that's one block above. Yeah, we'll have to be careful not to weld the wrong thing here. Alrighty, let me just give myself a gantry. Oh, pressing all the wrong buttons. Okay, so take that out. Now, before we weld that on, switch that off for a second. Right, yeah, so we have a connection there. So if we find the sorter, wherever it is. Oh, there it is. Right, so that's going the right way. And that should connect. No, it doesn't. Okay. So we've got to connect in from the top. And the connection in from the top. I can't remember. No, it doesn't have one at the front, only at the bottom. Oh, that's a pain. Thought there was a vent at the front. There is a vent at the front. Okay. And two at the back. Oh, it's because it was showing large grid. I see. Right, yeah, so that will sit at that level there. If I could get it in the right place, it would help. So we're not going to sit it directly on top of that. We're going to lift it up one. It's there. Okay. So all we have to do is take that one out and replace it with one of those. And we should be good. Okay, it's taking ages to sort this tiny little detail out, isn't it? I'll take another one just in case. And 4. I want one of those. And take some steel as well, just in case. Okay, so we'll put that one in there. Connect to it from here. Then we should be able to put the cockpit on. Which should connect everything up. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. Defeats the whole purpose of having the projector. Bubble that on. Now, that should be in the right place. Switch that off. Oop, wrong one. That one off. Yes, so we've still got all our controls apart from that lot for some reason. So we've lost some but not others. That doesn't make much sense to me. Don't you just love it? Oops. Come on, let me up. Right, this is just aesthetic. It's actually spare sort of space. I left it hollow just to keep it lightweight, but I'm actually thinking now that we've lifted the cockpit up we should maybe do a bit of a redesign. Just going to sort of throw it together for now. We can worry about the fine details later on. And probably the same the other side, I think. Not quite as smart as it was. I think that's just going to have to go straight along there. Not as neat and tidy as it was, but hopefully functional. Right, let's just have a look what's going on. We've got 2 sorters now. Ejector sorter, we'll call that 1. And that one is 2. Now you'll notice I've switched drain all off on the sorter, and we're just leaving it up to the ejector itself. So ooh, is that's not, that's on the other ship, I think, isn't it? It's just seeing it. Yeah, I think it's just seeing it copied across. Okay, right, so this one then we need to put whitelist and nice. Stone. And then we've got a new connector somewhere, so that'll be that one, which we actually want to call an ejector. So I'll rename that first and then we'll search. Okay, so no, that's the sorter. Ejector, that's the one. So that's 1. That's 2. So on this one I've got throw out and collect all, and not used for parking. And on this one we want throw out, collect all, and not used for parking. And it should actually be off, I believe, at the moment. No, it is actually on. Okay. So yeah, that should be off, otherwise we're going to be chucking ice out everywhere. Right, so the easiest way that I know of to set these groups up, because it's easy to group other stuff when you don't mean to. So if you actually disconnect from your base, then everything that appears here is on this ship. So we're looking at drills, gyros, so I didn't set a group up by the look of it. So save me typing it all out 3 million times. I'm just going to copy that one. And then we want sorters. So those 2. The only other thing I want to check is the O2. So we haven't got that one included. Should be included. And I'll leave it on in the inventory so that we can see when it's got ice in it and things, but switch everything else off. Alright, so now it's just a case of figuring out what went wrong with this lot. So the lights are okay. That's almost certainly the connector. Ejector, ejector, connector. Don't know why that would have disappeared. Didn't go near that one. This is probably going to be thrusters. Again, don't know why that would have disappeared. Very strange. And then these... Ooh. What did we have on there? These are real lights. Thinking probably cameras. Well, either way, they're no good like that, so we've got a docking camera, reversing camera, and do we not have a drill camera? Apparently not. Ah, front camera, okay. So, put that on there. Probably the docking one would be used next, and then the reversing one. And thinking this must have been for open and close for those. So those are groups. So that would be switch lock. And then hinges would be on reverse. That's a guess. Who knows? Sure, we'll find out what's missing when we try and use it. Alright, so we can lose the projector off the back. Yeah, so cockpit's now one block higher. We should now have a working ejector on the other side as well. That should obviously double the speed. So that one's level with those blocks. This one's actually one below those blocks. Yeah, it would have been kind of nice to do the same, but we'd have to lift the cockpit up another row to do that. And that's going to mean that the connector connects to the conveyors directly, which we don't want. So I'm happy with that. It should work. We'll lock that back on. And actually, yeah, batteries are 92% on that one, so not sure why these batteries were so low. Yeah, 66. So let's put those on recharge. Okay, so that's got some fairly useful stuff out of the way, I hope. We should now be able to make some better tools. So let's do them in order of priority. We'll have welder, grinder, and although I probably don't need it, let's have a drill as well, because we can. Might also make a better rifle at some point, but I'm not in a rush for that. Okay. Where are you putting my lovely expensive tools? I'll leave those in there as a backup for now. Don't especially need them. Take those off there. Character tools. That's better. Yeah, we're cooking. Right, hangar. What are we going to do in the hangar? Well, I think I'm going to get some of this welding done, because it's no good leaving it like that. We should have a load of steel plates, I think. Well, some. Let's make a few more. Hopefully we'll have enough iron. Yeah, 242k, loads of iron. So, make a load of plates. And yeah, just start welding. So I'll weld everything except this bottom row all the way around, just in case. You know, if it's not big enough, then well, we'll either have to raise it, lengthen it, and do what we need to do to it.
What a wonderful morning it is. Well, for Mars anyway. The sun's just rising. It's time to get some work done. Right. Let's see what we can do today. Still got the miner to finish. Shame about those explosives. I could have used those. Got a few here that need delivering. So, let's have a look at this beauty. She doesn't look too bad. So, I gotta figure out how to put this thing back together. Try and figure out where everything went. Let's get some lights on. Think maybe there were drills on there. There's another one here. That's about right. I think we've got some drills. We have got some drills. And don't think I have it set up yet. Might as well put the group on there. Easier for the future. And, yeah, that kinda fits. This one looks like it goes there. And another one here. Looks about right. I'll have to do array paint. I hope I can mix some paint the right color. I think I'm going to need a couple more drills. Let's have a look what we have. Perfect. I have 2 more. That's handy. That one goes on there. And there. I do have one more. Don't think I'm going to need that one. That looks about right. That's a big miner ship. Let's see if it's missing anything else. That all looks complete. No, I can't see anything else missing off that one. Has it got any forward thrust? It's got side thrust. Got lift. Got push. Ah, that's forward. Okay. I think that might be good to go. Let's see if she'll power up. That looks good. Just need to unlock the landing gear. I think she looks complete. Just need to give her a fresh coat of paint. And she'll be good to go. Okay. I'll leave her under cover for now. These Martian storms can be quite nasty. Excellent. I'm happy with that. I'll go mix up some paint.
Okay, so got most of the welded up bits that are easy to get to. When I welded the other side, I did these pieces underneath as I was doing the pieces on top, but I forgot this time. So I've had to make this sort of scaffolding. I'm hoping this will allow me to get to these two. Yeah. And I think we're probably going to need to make some kind of scaffolding because we're going to need some lights up in here. Haven't quite decided how I'm going to do the lights yet. I mean, once they're up, but what I was wondering was whether I should have lights that I can move. You know, because spotlights tend to be quite sort of bright in one place and then dark all around, so maybe searchlights that follow the player or something. Just so that when we're moving around and welding up our big capital ship, we can actually see what we're doing. Kinda good. Nearly done. There we go. And this bit, I think, is just going to have to sort of collapse. Like that one. That worked. Okay, so that's the basics of the hangar. The only question now is whether or not it's big enough. I don't think it's going to be long enough. Whether it's high enough, that's questionable. But good enough for now, at least. Right. So I've been giving some thought to the capital ship, obviously. I'm thinking I want to try and keep it as basic as possible. Obviously we're going to need at least one jump drive, if not two. Lots and lots of power. So battery storage, yes. probably hydrogen engines, which means hydrogen tanks. We're certainly going to need hydrogen thrusters to, well, take off and land. The alternative is we could build it in space, which would mean getting out of the gravity field, but then I'd have to come back every time I needed something, so I don't think that's really very feasible. Ion thrusters for travel, save the hydrogen, which again means power. Yes, going to take a little bit of thinking. Now, normally when I start a build, I start with one of these. But I'm actually thinking, I mean, you see that takes up 2 blocks, and we do have very limited height. So I'm actually thinking it might be better to start with one of these, just to lock it down, and we'll work around it. So let's try that, see how that goes. Okay, so that is locked. So inevitably, actually choose a colour. What should we have? Well, the brown here is the colour I did the floor. I'm unlikely to use green. So, I don't really want to go too mad. My suit colour is green, but it don't look right on a ship. So, should we go for some kind of a blue, maybe? Something like that. I think that looks okay. And I'm going to do it in clean. Oh, no, I'm not. That looks horrible. I'm going to say I'm going to do it in clean armor because it's new. Let's just back off the... Make it a sort of like a silvery blue, I think. Something like that. There we go. That'll do. Okay, so as always with these things, I would like to start with a platform to work from. So a good platform seems to be about 3 blocks wide. I'm going to stick to my formula. You can, of course, shape that, as long as the top is flat. Gives you something to work on. And seeing as this is where the box is, I'm going to put a little ramp here. Like that. Nope, it won't let me. Yeah, see, the space is filling up quick. Right, let's start from the front. I normally try and get some of the mechanics in before I try and do any kind of shaping, but because we're in such a limited space here, I think I'm going to have to kind of work a little bit out of the box. Do something like that. Just try and give it a bit of shape. So I'm not going to be trying to make any kind of a fighter ship here. It will have defences, obviously. But we just need something that will get us where we need to go. Alright, that's the easy bit. So now for the more difficult part. Just trying to think, we can attach thrusters to that, I think. Could find them. So we can use small thrusters, as long as we keep the ship reasonably small. Small thrusters will work, but they are level with the ground, and I'd kind of like them higher than that. And the other problem we have is the jump drive. Jump drives, I should say. They are huge, you can see. They are 3 by 3 by 2. So just getting 2 of those in is going to be a trick in itself. We could use... no, sorry, we can't. That's a safe zone. Yeah, so that's going to have to go in the middle. But obviously we need a layer of protection on it. So if we put one there and one behind it, does that work with the length? Yeah, we're just in there. So obviously we're going to need to put some protection at the back there. I won't go too mad with that because we can shape that later. Right, push-wise, going to probably need lots of little. I'm thinking the other end, once we get to Earth, mind you, we've got to land on Mars yet, haven't we? And that means we've got to be able to carry the stuff that we're taking. Unless we make it there.
Energy low.
We just get some energy while we think about this situation. Kind of looks like a big boat at the moment, doesn't it? Let's take a couple of girders. I was kind of hoping we can put some glass in at the front here. Do we have any? Not really. That's going to be awkward with that little corner there, isn't it? That's not going to work. We go straight across there. Could maybe put a diagonal in across there. Does that work? think that should be airtight. Gives us a little lip on the front, which is okay. Yeah, I think that'll work. So what can we do back from there? Gonna have to connect the slopey bit above that somehow. Should we do a straight slope or a double slope? It's going to have to go there. Blocks off that block from being able to use that, but work with that, I think. That gives us a nice big open bridge. Plenty of room for equipment and stuff. And we just fence the bridge off with those. And then I'm thinking, as we've got room at the sides, I'm going to maybe try and make some pods at the side for the hydrogen tanks and run the thrusters directly off them. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use large thrusters. If so, for a ship this size, one would be enough, which means it would be in the middle of the back. But then we'd have to use small ones to stop, because I can't put a big one at the front. So pods definitely seem to be the way to go. Okay, let's just finish that off there. Actually thinking we could taper this off. Just see what that looks like. I think we can maybe start that one further forwards. Yeah, that kind of works. Okay, right, leave this with me. I will get some of this welded up and see what we can get laid out. And I'll bring you back once it's actually something to look at, as opposed to a pile of this. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so welcome back. It looks a bit weird. I'm not entirely happy with it. It has got character. That's something you could call it. Looks like it's got a large bottom lip. So I might revisit that at some point. As a cockpit goes, it's... yeah. But anyway, I'm not going to get hung up on that. So I've taken the jump drives out for now, just so I could weld the floor up. And I also changed the back a little bit, just to give it sort of a feature. So instead of just having a square back, give it something of some shape. So the next thing then is, where are we? gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think somewhere around here. Just gonna mark this one for a minute. Just gonna put a conveyor converter in there so that we know where we're working. Back up again now. Yeah, so the jump drives are going to go in back there. They do take up a lot of room, don't they? So I just put them in as placeholders for now. So I think if we work off these for some kind of pod, give myself a little bit of room to work. Just about get away with that, I think. Something along those lines anyway. So we're going to need down thrust. And I did say I didn't want that on that level because of the ground. And maybe have to raise that up to the next block, bring it in there, but anyway. Yeah, let's try that way round. So that means I can put the thrusters that level. Just going to put those in for now so that we can see where we're working. Yeah, they're actually going to be out here somewhere. Just trying to get the height. So thrusters on that level there. Actually, let's do that. Get a better idea of where it all lines up that way. Not sure we're going to need that many thrusters for such a small ship. And we did say we wanted to put some hydrogen here, so that's not going to work. So hydrogen's going to be, I think, 3 blocks. So if the thruster's at that level, ooh, we have to go even higher, aren't we? Now you can see why the hangar's not going to be big enough. We could bring the thruster in 1 block, but it kind of removes the pod aspect of what I was trying to do. Let's put the other side on, see how that looks. Was it 2? 2, yeah, and then that. Okay. Yeah, that could work. I think we can work around that. Still don't like that front. Definitely going to revisit that. So that's going to push my thrusters way onto ground level, isn't it? Okay, let's just put a supporting block in there for now. Just to hold all that together, and then we can take these two out. I think. Yeah, so if we put these in upside down, does that work? No, because we'd have to connect into the floor. Kind of think that we should be using those along there, but I think we're going to have to pipe it through the floor or the ceiling. Because I wasn't going to go any higher than the jump drives other than armor. So the only other thing I can do is to put these lengthways and connect from the ends, which is a bit annoying. Let's take that one out. But still perfectly doable. Put that in like that. Yeah, no, we're right on the end there. Could put thrusters on the back of that, but then that defeats the whole point of having those, doesn't it? Yeah, that's going to be armor anyway. I'm going to leave that one for now. I think that's okay there.
Energy low.
Some energy. Yeah, so I think whichever way we look at it, we're going to have a bulky back end. And I'm not used to building ships, or capital ships, this small. I'm trying to make it as compact as I possibly can to fit in the hangar more than anything. But we might end up having to go bigger. This layer here was originally going to be the armor sort of wall, as you see there. But I think we might have to plate around the outside of those anyway. And we're going to definitely need some protection around the tanks. That's going to get even bigger. The only alternative really is to put the jump drives in the pods and put the tanks in the middle. Which is probably a safer way of doing it, but not as aesthetically pleasing. I'm also going to need hydrogen engines. Which way around did I put those? No, not those. Those. Yeah, so I put that in that way round. If I had rotated it, we could put a hydrogen engine underneath it, couldn't we? And it would still connect. Let's do that. We want it that way, or the other way. And does it actually matter? Let's have a look at an engine. Can find one. Yeah, so if we want to pipe back from it, it's got to be that way round. If I put it on that way round, then we can only pipe backwards. Yeah, okay. I think that was right. So connector is at the back. Is at the back. That makes a lot more sense. Oh, wrong button. Those engines are so pretty, I normally like to leave them exposed. But it doesn't work that way on this build. Right, I think I'm going to get some of that welded up, and we'll kind of see where we're going with that. Okay. So, as far as these are concerned, I'm going to take this one off for a minute. We're not going to be able to do the superconductors yet, I don't think. Yeah, make sure we haven't got superconductors. Okay, so nothing in production. I'll add that to production. And then get rid of those. I think we're probably okay for everything else. And I can make those. I think we've got enough stuff, but I don't want to make them just yet. So again, we can do the other one. And then I'll just take the superconductors off. Ooh, that sounds close. Again, my gun's doing a very good job of protecting us. I'm actually surprised how well they do, because I've only got 3. There's that one down there and these 2. Doing a very good job. Oh, okay. A lot of components go into these. Why didn't we get the power cells? Still being made, are they? Yep, still making. Just looking at that mining carriage. Haven't seen many or much traffic around here. I don't know if Europa is maybe a bit off the beaten track. I bet it's a lot busier down on, where is it, on Mars. He's coming in, but I don't think he'll come past us. Okay, so that's just the superconductors left then. Get that. I'm inclined to build the other one up as well, which is probably a silly idea. But it's only power cells really that we're committing to here. Didn't actually check, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, pretty sure we haven't got any superconductors. Just waiting on it making these. Get some energy while we wait. Eye on that mining carriage. What are we missing? Can't be out of gold already, I'm pretty sure we are not out of that. Oh, we're at silver. No? Silver. Cobalt. Loads of iron there, so not worried about that. Let's take some of that out. Yeah, cobalt obviously. Alright, well, we'll go and get some cobalt then. So if you remember, we only actually mined a little bit of cobalt at the start. By hand, I think. So that's how long that lasted. Try not to waste too much of the iron. Okay. Let that process. Yeah, so cobalt goes into the commons. And we're still doing platinum apparently. We'll swap it back in a minute. You can set them to manual control, but I generally, unless I specifically need something, I'll just leave them do their own thing. Somewhere here we should have. There we go, some oxygen. Alright, so I'm just going to see if I can get this second jump drive up to the point of just needing superconductors. We know we've got enough iron, so that's lying to me. There we go. So as the cobalt's doing, it is making them. So as for the rest of it, I don't think I have enough steel on me to actually do this, but let's just try. No. Get some of that. Right, so on the top here, going to obviously need a layer of armor, and I can't pipe in anything here. For obvious reasons. So it would be kind of nice to pipe a gun in there, but if I put a gun there, it's going to attract attention, and that's the last thing we want to do. So, not sure how we're finishing this off here yet. Probably going to be those. And the inevitable way of finishing those off is with these. So I think this is going to be a fairly traditional kind of slopey surface type thing. And then inevitably I'm not going to use heavy armor, even though it is obviously a delicate part of the ship. I think if we get to a stage where we're worrying about the jump drives blowing up, we're probably dead anyway. So I realise, of course, I've got to get at that other jump drive to be able to finish off welding it up with the superconductors. But I think I can get at it here. So Not too worried about that. We can ramp up there. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough, I think. Been at it for a good couple of hours now, so I'm just going to get up here where we can actually maybe see it. And I'm going to sign off. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll continue with this capital ship build in the next episode. And maybe get the superconductors built. The other thing we need to bear in mind is batteries, and I'm thinking of putting those in front of the jump drives, but we're going to need quite a lot of those, so I might have to do something imaginative with those. The thrusters are going to go on somewhere around the hydrogen tanks, and some armour, but I don't think we'll be encasing them completely. I think we're going to have to take our chances there, and if all else fails, we'll just have to make the ship bigger. Which inevitably means making the hangar bigger. Anyhow, that's enough for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care of yourselves now. Bye bye.